Partners, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hong Kong Talent Exchange Engage theme seminar today. And today we will be talking about unlocking the job market, talent demand, and opportunities for the future of Hong Kong's logistics industry. And we are very happy to have invited the Chamber of Hong Kong Logistics Industry, as well as Good Luck Group, and also JD Logistics speakers to be here with us. I am your host for today, and we also have a WeChat live stream. So for all of us, and also LinkedIn direct live stream as well. So we have friends who are here in the venue, and we have online participants as well. So with the logistics industry in Hong Kong, it is undergoing major transformation and changes with e-commerce and cross-border and cross-boundary cooperation. So first of all, without further ado, let us have Mr. Chung, Chairman of the Chamber of Hong Kong Logistics Industry, to talk to us about the current state of Hong Kong's logistics industry, challenges and breakthroughs. Mr. Chung, please.
线上还有现场的朋友，大家下午好。我是香港物流商会主席钟荣兴。今天非常感谢香港特区政府人才办的邀请，过来跟大家分享香港物流业界的现在的状况，还有什么好的机会。因为香港这个航运交通界还有就是物流了，基本上都是同一个非常专业的板块。我都希望今天可以把我认识的这个物流的行业跟大家分享，尤其是从一个商会、从一个行业的角度，让大家分享了解更多关于香港的航运物流业界的这个发展的情况。这个是我的一些介绍哈，这个主要都是在这个一些学会啊、商会啊一些工作，尤其是在政府一些。
So from the chambers and the associations and in the government, this is my own introduction and my background. So I have been giving seminars and advice and also training sessions, because training is at the core of sustainable development. Without talents trained, if we have all the capabilities, it is insufficient. So we need talents for the next generation of development. And our theme today is the current state of Hong Kong's logistics industry, challenges and breakthroughs. Now, because this is a very wide and deep industry, I will choose to speak on 6 aspects today. Firstly, I would want to talk about the Hong Kong logistics industry and import trade, the relationship between the two, because there are some government data for the entrepot trade in Hong Kong. The data had been linked to Hong Kong logistics industry. The reason is because for entrepot trade or transshipment trade, logistics, in particular shipping industry, is very important. For some of our friends who tell me they are interested in international trade, but they are not sure about the cost of logistics. And what about the logistics or transport arrangement? They are not sure about that. They don't know. So for logistics, should it be air, sea, or these days, we have cross-border e-commerce and how to operate all those. So logistics and import-export trade are very much linked. So according to government statistics for import and export trade and logistics, it is very important. It is 23.7% of the GDP, with 602,000 positions, and it is at 6.2%, that is the logistics, just logistics alone as a part of GDP, providing 165,000 positions or jobs. But of course, these numbers are adjusted as the automation process increases, and also with knowledge and digitalization, these will be changed. For the Hong Kong logistics industry, there are some very important advantages and competitive edges. We all know that the 14th Five-Year Plan, it provides very clear support from the country to Hong Kong in terms of services, including high-end, high value-added development, including in finance, in shipping, and trade center, as well as aviation hub. So this is very important, and these hubs together, I can say that Hong Kong is in a very competitive situation, especially for value chain. We have talents, we have capital flow, and we have logistics flow, and also the management systems in a number of ways can become a supply chain management hub positioning for Hong Kong. So for Hong Kong as an international shipping hub, it will bring on the development of GBA, Greater Bay Area, the 9 cities development, and it will make Hong Kong a very competitive hub. So for the GBA development, we know that there are 5 airports in the GBA area, and they each have their own advantages. But for Hong Kong, the advantage is very clear and evident. There is 200 destinations with over 100 airlines operating in Hong Kong. And the flights are very frequent. And that is why some of the mainland cargo will have to go through Hong Kong for air freight, because the flights are very frequent and customs clearing is also very convenient. On the other hand, Hong Kong is excellently located geographically. This is very unique to Hong Kong, and also it is a window for international in and out trade. And also it is a very vibrant and free economy with a lot of international experience among the professionals. So with very rich international experience in the past 10 years, 20 years, it was nurtured over a long period of time. Every day in our work, when we face up to international standards, clients, we have all these as our knowledge and experience. And we also know foreign culture, Italian, UK, France, European countries, they all have their different cultures. Not that we only speak English, that's not enough, but we understand their culture and their standards as well. So for Hong Kong, we can grasp this opportunity in terms of international experience. Also, Hong Kong is an important international aviation and shipping hub, as well as logistics hub. And in particular, the banking system and also the rule of law and the law is very important. Let's say signing a contract in Hong Kong, the parties all respect the spirit of the contract and implement the contract. So the contract is provided in the best of manner. And also for mainland and international banks, they have positions or points in Hong Kong. And for financing, providing loans, and also other banking services, they are all provided here in Hong Kong. Other competitive edges for Hong Kong would include Hong Kong International Airport. As we know, the airport, we already have the 3rd runway, and it is commenced operation. And last year, we said that for systems, it is already up and running, and it is fully in operation now. Now, for 7 million metric tons of cargo, that is the capacity for the airport. And now it is at 12 million metric tons, and that is annual capacity for cargo. So with the 3rd runway, we have extended the capacity. So for cargo source, we will be able to digest it all, and we are efficiently doing so. And also for passengers, it is over 100 million passenger time. Hong Kong has 9 container ports, and later on I will be talking about ports a little bit more. For the 9 ports, container ports in Hong Kong, they're mostly in Qing Island and Kwai Chung area. These ports are owned and operated by private enterprises or companies. And per year, the handling capacity is BU 20 million containers. 20 million containers. So there are some important infrastructure, including the Asia Container Logistics Center and the Hutchison Logistics Center. If you look at the diagrams here, you will know where they're located. They're mostly in Kwai Chung and Qing Yi area. From 1 to 9, these are the numbers of the piers, and these are logistics centers. Perhaps this is a clearer picture. This is Hong Kong, and you will be able to see the major infrastructure where they are. Some of them are older, some of them are brand new. The international airport, the China Merchants, and also Cainiao Aviation Center, etc. So you would be able to see they are all concentrated in that particular area, which is Kwai Chung and around Qing Yi Island. And of course, the international airport is on Lantau Island. But as we know, it is already now connected by road to the rest of the areas in Hong Kong. It is no longer on an island. Just now we talked about air freight, and I would want to talk about the Cainiao Smart Port. And together with this cluster, it can handle 10 million metric tons of cargo. What is 10 million metric tons? What is the idea? You will know the cumulative capacity is 5 million metric tons, and coming to 10 million metric tons, it is raising the capacity by 100%. The goal is 2030 to 2035. That's a handling capacity goal. So there is still some room for further development to 10 million metric tons. For the Cainiao Logistics Center at the Hong Kong airport, because Hong Kong is a very important city in development, so Cainiao will have to have a position in Hong Kong. And internationally, they have other high-end logistics centers as well. This is the Cainiao Logistics Center that we saw just now. And other major projects would include the Tongguan or Dongguan Cross-Border Logistics Park. So this is a cooperation project between Hong Kong and Dongguan. And the concept is cooperation within GBA. Through Dongguan, it is built a warehouse, and that is the goods will be, or cargo will be collected at Dongguan, and the handling and processing of the cargo will first be handled in Dongguan at that warehouse park. And after that, there will be customs clearing. And after that, there will be these barges. Look at the bottom diagram there, please, from Dongguan. Or actually, up on the diagram on the top, rather. So these barges will transport these cargo to the Hong Kong airport, and underneath the diagram you'll be able to see that the planes right away put them into the air freight and will fly to the destination. So starting from 2021, the planning had started, and right now the planning is mature and it is already handling cargo, and the cargo capacity will continue to increase. Now, for GBA area, what we want to do is to have a comprehensive development. Just now, I have shared the case where it is air freight, and also actually there is the water, and these are integrated. So shipping and also aviation are integrated. So there is a lot of room for integration and development possibilities. So including Dongguan, the warehousing can directly link up to the airport in Hong Kong. So this provides a lot of opportunities for freight, air freight, for example. Now, the Dongguan government and Hong Kong government had this agreement of cooperation, and the mode of cooperation is in aviation. And also the bridge linking up Hong Kong, Zhuhai, and Macau, this is also providing a lot of development opportunities. Next, let us look at the Hong Kong government coming up with 8 action points. These 8 action points for Hong Kong's logistics development from 1 to 8. These actions are very comprehensive. Digitalization of the industry, for example, data connectivity, and also green logistics and continuous development, and also GBA integration and cooperation, as well cross-sector cooperation. Cross-sector is meant as not only logistics, but maybe logistics and finance, and logistics and other industries such as technology. So this is cross-sector cooperation. So where we are very good at logistics, we are bringing it to work with other sectors and industries as well. So for friends in the logistics arena, in the future, there will be a lot more development opportunities together with these other industries. Now, for logistics land use, they're mostly in Qingyi, Kwaichong area, and also near the airport. There's a lot of infrastructure services there. And the Hong Kong government has already approved a 215 million Hong Kong dollars to build a port platform, and I am on the work group. So this particular port community platform, we are to build it up, and that would include all shipping and all ports. They will be linked up on the platform, and the entire ecosystem, including freight forwarder, etc., will be joined up in this platform. And lastly, this is the ESG roadmap. For ESG, Hong Kong is aligned with international standards. We know that Hong Kong government has a clear commitment concerning the 2 carbon targets, and that is 2030. According to my understanding, there are 2 targets for the 2 carbon targets. And we have to understand what is ESG, and also we need to provide training and also to process ESG data. So for green system, we want to put it into logistics trade as well. As you know, for logistics, there's a lot of carbon emissions, including air, sea, and land transport. So we would want there to be more green transport in Hong Kong, and in particular for fuel, air fuel, or LNG, etc. So the Hong Kong government is very focused on this target as well. As an industry, we also want to promote this. So just now, I talked about the 2 carbon targets. 2030, Hong Kong will be peaked in carbon, and carbon neutrality will be reached in 2050. That was 2 targets I wanted to talk about, and this is aligned internationally. What about development opportunities? Now, smart logistics is very important. I mentioned that traditional logistics was that you will have warehouses, you have lorries, and that would be it. But now we are talking about lowering costs, increasing efficiency. So in the mainland, they would know that the country is very focused on this, and that is so one system becomes integrated. So rail, road, and air, as well as inland rivers, all these transports will have to be integrated to increase efficiency. So for Hong Kong, we would want to use our logistics system, smart system, to link up air, sea, and land because we have the data. And Hong Kong, with the data, we can do the integration. In the past, a lot was manual, writing on paper, and this data was not useful, and it cannot integrate land, sea, and air. But with the data, smart data, we will be able to integrate the different ecosystems. So I feel that the future is very promising with big data. To this end, the Hong Kong government had provided 300 million Hong Kong dollars to raise the technological capability of the industry. So we must use this capital well. This is a support fund for our industry. And also for the logistics industry, training is very important. So in the mainland, in Hong Kong, I go to the universities to conduct training sessions, cold chain training, international ISO standard enhancement training, etc., etc., so that the talents in the mainland and in Hong Kong can be nurtured, whether they work in Hong Kong or in the mainland. I believe in the future, GBA talents in the future will be flowing within the region, including in Hong Kong. This is the target, and it's aligned with the country's objective as well. Hong Kong is a great window, and where we have good case studies, where there are successful cases, we will use them. So I think talents is very important, in particular for the Hong Kong logistics industry. This picture here is when I led a group, actually university students from the mainland, to come to Hong Kong for visits. So the Kerry Logistics and Shunfeng Express Logistics were visited, and they also visited the cold chain storage in Hong Kong. So for them, they saw this international standard cold chain storage, and they saw how it is operated. So what we lack in Hong Kong is talent. So bringing the young people over is a very good thing. My time is up. I've been looking at my watch. I will not overrun. So I just want to thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Ken Chung, for sharing with us the state of the Hong Kong logistics industry and challenges and breakthroughs. So next, let us talk about a very important initiative under the Belt and Road, and that is the China-Europe Railway Express. It brings lower cost and stability and efficiency to the logistics industry. And let us have Good Luck Group Limited Managing Director, Mr. Steffan Zhang, to talk about the opportunities brought to Hong Kong logistics industry by the China-Europe Railway Express. Very, very happy to have this opportunity. I have been working in China-Europe Railway Express sector for over 10 years. I started in 2015, so I have some deep experience in this. And I've been in the logistics industry for over 20 years since I graduated. So this is my background. Today I'll be talking about 5 areas. The first area is the Belt and Road China-Europe Rail Express, an introduction. And I just talked to a few guests here, and it seems like they've only learned about this in Weixin or in the news or media, and it seems to be so far away from them, I realize. So for the Belt and Road China-Europe Railway Express, from Hong Kong side, it is more aviation, that is air and sea freight, which is very developed, and it developed earlier than mainland. But in 2013, Mr. Xi Jinping, our leader, came up with the initiative of Belt and Road, and it started in Chongqing, the China-Europe Railway Express, and then it covered the entire nation. What is most important to the rail is that it is very fast. From the mainland to Hamburg, Germany, in the it's very fast. Within 10 days, and also it is also very stable. And in terms of carbon emission, it is even greener and even more eco-friendly. As for costs, it is much lower in cost than air, and it is more expensive than sea, though. And this is the route map of China-Euro Railway Express. I'm sure you're not really stranger to it, but it has many different ports. For example, Xinjiang, Alenshangkou, and also Manzhouli, etc. There are a lot of stations. For the expressway, it goes to Europe as well as Central Asia, and it goes down to Southeast Asia, Laos, Thailand, etc. So this is not just a Euro-China expressway. So it connects up to a number of other destinations in other areas of Asia as well, as I've mentioned. That is the understanding. So for Hong Kong mainland, for China mainland, there are a number of starting points. You would ask, for example, let's say if I start from Shenzhen and I stop in Chongqing and then in Lanzhou, is that it? No. All the freight goes from Shenzhen when it is fully stocked. It will go through Manzhouli or Alenshangkou, and they go outside of the border to Russia or Belarus, to Poland, and then to Germany, Czech, or Belgium, Holland, etc. So it doesn't stop along the way at each of the so-called stations. So these are the places: Poland, Germany, Holland, UK, Czech, Finland, Russia, Belarus, Hungary, and Italy. These are just some of the destinations. If I remember correctly, it is 128 cities altogether as destinations. So this is the number starting from 2020 to 24. The frequency was 20,000. That doesn't seem too many. For shipping, the biggest vessels is 20,000 TEUs. But for us, it is only 55 high Q for each of the trains on the China-Europe Railway Express. So I will not talk about this slide. It is about the advantages of Hong Kong as an aviation hub and a shipping hub, because the speaker just now had talked about this already. But traditionally, in shipping, for instance, going to Europe, now mainly I'll be focusing on Europe today. from Hong Kong or starting from Shenzhen or Shekou or Nansha, reaching Europe would take about 25 days or over. But of course, with the Red Sea situation, it may actually be 35 days to 40 days, and Northern Europe is over 50 days even. So this is a list here. So the starting point and to the destination, I'm actually being conservative here because at the time, 11 days from mainland to Hamburg, Germany, I was shocked myself. If it's air freight, it is just a few days slower than transshipment. So from Shanghai to Dubai, transshipment to European cities, it may take 5 to 7 days easily. But for us, the fastest, just to give you an example, from Zhengzhou, 11 days, it will reach Hamburg in Germany, very fast. And it is only 60% or so of the cost of air freight. And I would want to now talk about an opportunity presented to Hong Kong by the China-Europe Rail. For rail, a lot of the time, we are talking about integrated approach and multi-city approach. So what is it suitable for? This mode is where the city is over 700 kilometers from the seaport. Only then would rail have an advantage. Otherwise, rail would not have an advantage. Otherwise, because the cost and the time cost will have to be calculated and accounted for as well. But Chengdu to Hong Kong or Chongqing to Hong Kong, perhaps you don't even know, for Chongqing and Chengdu, these two cities, their freight, if they want to go by sea, they necessarily have to go through the Yangtze River. And Yangtze River sailed down to Shanghai, and just this stretch takes 15 days. And then board the large vessels in Shanghai and then go out. And from Shanghai to Germany, it is 30 days. So from Chongqing to Shanghai, 15 days, altogether 45 days. That's very, very long for a supply chain. And it is a very big test for the supply chain. But with the China-Europe Rail, from Chengdu or Chongqing going to Alashankou, and then going through our express train to Germany, it is 10 days. So it is even less than half of the time of waterway shipping. So Mr. Wang Qishan, the country's leader at the time, had brought in a lot of electronic enhancement. And he also said, we have wonderful rail resources here, and I guarantee you the logistics will be clear and fast. And he said that at the time, but it's become true. From Chengdu, Chongqing is just barely over 10 days. So that had been done. It's been realized, and especially for FMCG goods, this is a huge advantage. And now I would want to talk about imports using the expressway. Some people think that this is too far away because you're in Hong Kong. Rail is not developed here. I mean, rail, for freight rail, it's not developed. And from Europe, we import a lot of goods, and through the rail, they come to the Greater Bay Area. The Greater Bay Area can definitely use the China-Euro rail. Can you imagine how fast it is? 15 days. So just 15 days. So for trucks And the customs clearing is very fast, efficient in Hong Kong. So from GBA mainland area, it will take maybe 1 day or just 2 days to reach Hong Kong. So originating from Italy. And for the customer, I'm importing furniture from Italy because the value of furniture is high. And so the customer said that they want train transfer to Shanghai. And we were able to do it within 19 or 20 days, point to point. As for export, for China-Euro Rail, Hong Kong, you have your own logistics. We, compared to Europe and Southeast Asia, and a lot of clients, Hong Kong actually has or enjoys long-term, very good relationship with them. And through this kind of client relationship, where their goods need to be transported by China-Euro Rail, we can ask them to go through Hong Kong and then go into Greater Bay Area mainland or use outside of GBA rail to go to Europe, for instance. For Shanghai, Tianjin, Qingdao, for instance, and in the original, there was Lingyun Port, which was the originator years ago. Now, all these can actually leverage the Greater Bay Area China-Euro Rail for transport now. Lastly, I want to talk about the e-commerce, the cross-border e-commerce in GBA. This is very hot. Pinduoduo, for instance, and also some major companies in e-commerce, they are extremely, how shall I describe them? Extremely what? I would say they're very passionate about China-Euro Rail. Why? Because they can just commission the 55 metric tons. They can commission all of that capacity. And there is a policy, because there is cargo source. How can the cross-border e-commerce using China-Europe Rail and leveraging the logistics advantage of Hong Kong summons all this? So the leaders of the country is saying it's not just about the air-sea freight in Hong Kong, but also link that up with China-Euro Rail so that the GBA advantage can be summoned up and integrated. So lastly, I want to talk about the support to China-Euro Rail by the government and also customs. I started in Hefei, the city, and I know that the local government was very supportive, and all the governments are very supportive of China-Euro Rail. If you understand this policy and support, I would tell you, if I may be frank, that there are subsidies. And we have to put these subsidies into the service and solutions for the client. Now, basically, where the cargo has arrived, I will do the custom clearing. And if there should be inspection, it's fine. You can let go. So customs, what level of support are they giving us? If we say, oh, this train, because the rail will have to be on point, the train will have to, it cannot wait to have to leave at 6 p.m. If we tell customs that, customs will say, fine, just go ahead, and then I will go do the procedures after. The support is to that level, I'm telling you. So each of the customs and each of the governments in mainland China are giving us full support to the China-Euro Rail. This is what I want to share with you. Thank you, Mr. Steffan Zhang, for your sharing. All the more we understand the China-Euro Rail Express developments, and basically it is important that we have the talents, and in particular there will have to be creative thinking and multidisciplinary capabilities among our talents. So this is exactly the topic now. Ms. Celine Dong of JD Logistics for Hong Kong and Macau region will be talking about this. I am Gloria Liang. Actually, I joined JD in June, and I joined the industry in June and this year. So with a lot of talents in Hong Kong, I am leveraging on this opportunity. So as a new joiner in the industry, let me provide my perspective on talents in the logistics industry. First of all, in terms of demand and opportunities for GBA logistics industry and how to become a multidisciplinary talent, what kind of talents and professional skills does he need, and what are some of the career development paths and planning for such professionals in GBA. These are the topics. For GBA logistics and business, we are front-running in the country, and Hong Kong is definitely a hub for logistics and trade. In the region, there is lower rate of development. It is because of geopolitics and also the tariff war. So the companies and enterprises are risk averse in how they bring in talents. But at the same time, we have new technologies such as low-altitude economy and autonomous vehicles. They're bringing in disruptive changes to the industries as well. So Hong Kong links up to the world, and it radiates into the hinterland of the country, mainland. And also with dual circulation, this is a new development paradigm, and it supports development. And for logistics industry, it is an important industry for high-quality economic development in the Greater Bay Area. Now, for our regional partnership, including RCEP, it deepens trade integration and enhances the complexity of cross-border logistics. There is 22.6% trade growth or related economic impact brought by RCEP, directly increasing the flow of goods within and between the regions. This leads to a surge in demand for logistics services, including transport, warehousing, customs, clearing, declaration, freight forwarding, etc., which in turn requires more professionals with specialized skills. And also, as mentioned, there are other trends, including digitalization and intelligence, green development, and globalization. These are also main themes. For talent demand, overall, there is a strong growth in talent demand. There is in 2025, recruitment in GBA logistics industry ranks in the top 10%, accounting for 7.4% of total recruitments. The growth rate of transport and shipping recruitment positions in modern logistics is some 12.8%, while logistics warehousing growth is 11.1%, highlighting the advantages of GBA efficient logistics system. And measured by value added and employment, the trade and logistics industry is one of Hong Kong's 4 major economic pillars. 2023, the trade and logistics industry accounted for 18.8% of Hong Kong's GDP and providing approximately 576,000 jobs. And this is a little bit old data, 2023. Just now the speaker had quoted 2025 figures. By 2025, the total talent demand in GBA logistics industry is expected to exceed 550,000, with position vacancies estimated between 70 to 100,000. Now, there are 4 major areas for management and operations of logistics: supply chain management, logistics project managers, warehouse management, transportation scheduling are all part of it. A second area of positions is digital and intelligent logistics, which would include big data analysis, intelligent logistics platform, systems integration engineers. And the third area is cross-border and international logistics, and that would include international freight forwarding, customs declaration, trade logistics coordinators, and lastly, another area is cold chain and fresh logistics, and this would include cold chain operations, temperature control, facility management, quality control specialists, etc. So the industry trend is that there is accelerated digital and intelligent transformation with particular acute shortages of technology composite talents. So there are a lot of opportunities for mainland talents to come to Hong Kong and GBA for development. And also, there is a synergy of resources across Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, with release of policy dividends and cross-regional logistics in talent demand. And also, a mega trend is cross-border e-commerce and integrated warehousing and distribution, driving substantial increases in these areas for new types of positions. So there is a need for multidisciplinary talents with particularly 7 to 10 years of industry experience. So how do we define these multidisciplinary talents? Well, they will need to have abilities such as knowledge, technology, management, and business. For example, they need to have composite analysis capability. So they are people-oriented and also in the knowledge, professional knowledge. That is a foundation so that they can resolve problems. So I'm sure you all know about these. These are plain, so let me go into specifics. For multidisciplinary talents in the modern workplace, we know that Hong Kong logistics, there is a Rising Star Award, which is a Hong Kong government award recognizing outstanding young logistics talents with winners from e-commerce, innovative technology, terminal operations, and other fields. It perfectly matches talent demand with diverse development paths and is an authoritative case proving that the logistics industry needs diversified young talents. And we can see that there are 4 directions which you want to discuss and look into. 1, driving innovation and upgrading. With tech advancement and deep industrial integration, many industries face cross-border integration and tech iteration. Multidisciplinary talents can integrate multi-field knowledge, promote innovative thinking and solution, and bring sustained competitive advantages. Second, adapting to diversified position requirements. So the companies require positions to be increasingly diverse and no longer satisfied with single-skilled talents. Multidisciplinary talents can flexibly handle multiple tasks, competently perform management, technical, marketing, and other types of work, and bring higher position adaptability and flexibility. A third area is meeting companies' or enterprises' strategic development needs. As the companies transform, upgrade, and internationalize, multidisciplinary talents are more easily qualified for composite and strategic positions, playing core roles in resource integration and management and business development. Fourth, enhancing team collaboration and communication. In the modern workplace, this is a entry qualification. So it is no longer that the departments work in silo, but rather it is cross-departmental collaboration. Multidisciplinary talents can act as bridges because they effectively communicate with different professional backgrounds, improve overall team collaboration and efficiency, and promote smooth project implementation. And reaching consensus is most difficult, and these talents will be able to do so. consensus is important. It is at the back of collaboration efficiency and project smooth implementation. Next, let us look at technology. Just now, we heard that these multidisciplinary talents, they have the traditional skills. What are some of the new skills? Well, smart logistics and innovation-driven digital transformation is important, and deep integration of AI, Internet of Things, and big data and blockchain, all these bring up the efficiency and optimization of the entire chain. And also, there will have to be certain certification, and some government policies will make it known as to what some of the new knowledge areas are and how we should keep learning. If you're coming into the industry, you'll need to know about that. And also, intelligent warehousing. More and more, there is automated sorting, robotic picking, and smart inventory management, and also intelligent transportation. JD, our colleagues are already saying that this is coming to pass. In the past, it was more the drivers, and also they will be looking at the routes, planning the routes. But now with AI tool, the drivers would know how the route is to be done or planned for today. In the past, it was all in the human brain, and now AI is replacing that. And also, lastly, data analysis and forecasting in the area of data. We need to forecast, and we need to risk manage. We need that supply chain visualization. So as we innovate and as we empower, these are some of the things that we need. Now, today, I've just asked our audience, they come from the mainland, and those who have been in Hong Kong for a long time, they have not been in contact in logistics, they want to know more. So let me just say that this is a cross-cultural collaboration and effective communication. Being trilingual and biliterate, that's basic. And also there will have to be cross-cultural intelligence. And different cultures and languages, you need to understand and respect all that. It's not like one side trying to bend backwards for the other side. No, it is about being different, but being able to work together and being integrated and communicate. So this is very important. With communication and influence, with clear expression, there will be effective communication and strong negotiation. And also, the talents will need to have strategic thinking and agile adaptation, including using AI. The cost of using that is also very low. So it's not like before. It's not as difficult as before in analysis. And so you need to be very agile in adapting new knowledge and new technology so that in this changeable environment, you will have higher productivity. That is, a person will have higher productivity. And also internationalization. In the high-pressure environment, you are continually sustainably developing. So this is about personal resilience as well. Now, a couple of days ago, I saw that just now, the data also reveal that there are a lot of vacancies in the industry, but at the same time, it is true that it's very difficult to recruit people. How come there is no match? My company needs people, talents, and how is preparation to be made so that the talents can really live up to the job's specs? Well, productivity is important, and you need to be adding value to yourself all the time. And your knowledge needs to be extended, and your vision also needs to be expanded and globally. So under huge pressure, you can still keep yourself, and you must be interested in your work before you can do it well. And another area is GBA, the systems That's been talked a lot by the other speakers, so I'll not go into that. Next, let's look at the development pathways. There are 4 areas. First of all, you have to find out what type of person you are. Are you a technical expert? Are you using AI, algorithm? Are you an engineer? And you will be transforming from engineer to intelligent logistics solution architect. Or are you the type that is an innovation and entrepreneur type? So you'll be relying on innovation ecosystem to create new smart logistics business models. Or are you a lifelong learner? Maybe you adapt rapidly to changing industry and tech environments. And so with top level certificates and high-end training, you'll be key. And also for management leadership type and also for certification such as ESG certification, all these feed into it as well, and they're important. But what is important, you must have certification, you must qualify, whether you are middle-aged or a new joiner, you can, through different channels and organizations, get professional training and also certification. Lifelong learning is how we can meet up to an ever-changing industry and environment. This closes my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gloria, for your introduction and your suggestions. Next, we will have a Q&A session. And those who are on site, would you please raise your hand if you have a question? We'll bring you a microphone. And we also welcome those online. And in the chat room, would you please input your question? So just now, we talked about how to find opportunities of vacancies. And actually, on our website, there are some 5,000 vacancies listed. Please take a look. And today, we are very happy to have Mr. Gary Ping, who's a lecturer at the Hong Kong Institute of Vocational Education, HKTE, to be the moderator. A round of applause. Please come up onto the front. Right, friends, guests, greetings. I'm Gary Ping, and today we're very honored to have this opportunity to speak to these 3 guests. And so let's look at together the logistics development in Hong Kong. While you were speaking, our 3 guests, I was taking notes as audience. And after listening to your presentations, I have a blueprint for Hong Kong logistics. Now, if I can make a small summary, first of all, from macro policy, Mr. Chung talked about Hong Kong as a logistics center, some of the policies, some of the positioning and competitive edges. And then Mr. Zhang built a bridge for us, and through this bridge, through China-Euro Rail, we are able to extend the hinterland and field for Hong Kong logistics. And lastly, for Gloria, she's more practical, and she was talking about how there can be multidisciplinary talents so that they can walk on the bridge that Mr. Zhang had built and mentioned. Now, if Mr. Chung had given us a direction, Mr. Zhang had given us the bridge, and Gloria had pointed the way to become a talent, multidisciplinary talent at that. So let's go deeper into the 3 areas, and you are welcome to raise your questions online or offline. Now, those on site, do you have any questions you want to raise at this point? Do you have any questions to raise? Yes. First of all, I would want to thank the speakers. This is a wonderful opportunity, and everybody was speaking Putonghua, and for us working here, this feels very familiar and warm. And I'm very fortunate to have heard the chairman and also the guests in speaking. Now, I see opportunities and I see challenges when we talk about talents. Hong Kong will attract talents, but at the same time, we also see for Hong Kong businesses, they are moving to the mainland. For example, consumption is moving up north. So I would like to know what are some of the areas that can really attract mainland talents? Now, I've been in Hong Kong for 3 years. I don't think Hong Kong has a lot of advantages in attracting talents to Hong Kong. There are a lot of policies, it seems, but there's nothing that benefits me. And so I ask, what are some of the opportunities for us? Where should our confidence be built on? If I can answer that question, for your question, thank you. You point to the core of the issue. Just now, I talked about the overall logistics industry environment for Hong Kong and some of the competitive edges compared to overseas. But overall, for the industry, what are some of the advantages so that we can excavate, we can come up with, and why Hong Kong logistics industry can attract talents to Hong Kong? Now, first of all, let's talk about the GBA. I don't want to compare with the mainland overall, but let me talk about GBA Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Zhuhai, the nearest cities to Hong Kong. They have logistics talents, and every day they are doing sea, air, and land cargo transportation. And how does this compare to Hong Kong? I think there are a few differences. One, market, and that is cargo demand. You know, for a lot of cargo flow, they come from the mainland to Hong Kong and then transshipment to overseas. And for many decades, it's been so. But for logistics development direction, it has changed. I can tell you the direction of development has changed. In the past, from ports and air freight, they have to go through Hong Kong before they can be transported overseas. But the country has developed, and it is more and more open to overseas markets. So for some of the cargo goods, they can go from the mainland ports going out. So that has changed. In the past, there was a lot of cargo source. So the biggest headache is to process so much cargo. But now the world over, there is less cargo. So how do we overcome this challenge? In Hong Kong, there is a major attraction, and that is a duty-free port. In the Sino and U.S. trade war, this value has been very evident. So Hong Kong is a duty-free port. That is a major advantage, especially for logistics industry. The other is international talents. Now, in Hong Kong, if you want international systems, etc., I mean, Hong Kong can be aligned to international systems because Hong Kong has this internationalism. It has knowledge and alignment with international levels and standards and systems. It is more experienced international arena-wise. And then, just now, in terms of supply chain management, the talents in this field, in the mainland, yes, there are advantages as well. There's a huge market, for instance, and there's a lot of new infrastructure, automated ports, seaports, etc. But Hong Kong helps corporations go out, go international. So for the banking industry and also engineering and facilities and equipment, they go through Hong Kong to go out. Even though Hong Kong doesn't have a rail going overseas, but Hong Kong has a lot of ship and also air freight. They go through Hong Kong. Why do they go through Hong Kong? Because Hong Kong has a great capital pool. there can be financing done in Hong Kong, and also international law arrangements and contracts are signed in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong has this advantage of developing logistics talents for these reasons and because of these scenarios. Now, I will stop here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair. Mr. Ken Chung, Chairman. Other questions, please? Thank you for this opportunity today. Mr. Chairman, a question for you. For Hong Kong logistics warehousing, can you talk about that? My understanding is that for Qianhai Yantian warehouses, they are serving Hong Kong. And then in your slide, you talked about a lot of warehouses. They are in Dongguan, and they directly go for air freight. So what do you think about warehousing in Hong Kong? What is the future development? This is an excellent question again for warehousing, and it is a headache for the industry indeed. Frankly speaking, for Hong Kong, warehousing cost is high because land cost is high in Hong Kong. For operation, wages is high. So compared to the mainland, cost is more attractive in the mainland, just on the dimension of cost. In Hong Kong, we have need for warehousing. We need some warehousing in Hong Kong. I mentioned just now that there are mainland companies coming to Hong Kong and for transshipment. And so the warehouses will be responsible for packaging and also for some of the local Hong Kong shops. These warehouses are needed for support. So this is local demand for warehouses. Even though for retail, you see some changes. So overseas brands, for instance, they have become mainland brands. So you would know that the goods actually come from the mainland to satisfy local Hong Kong needs. And then there is the cross-border transport. So the cargo can be put or stored in the mainland and where it is necessary to deliver it to Hong Kong. In the past, Hong Kong had some huge warehouses. Now it still needs to retain some of the most core operations. And for some of the cargo or goods, they are to be kept in the bonded warehouses. Where there is demand and need, they will be delivered to Hong Kong. So for supervision, etc., there will have to be a clear direction. Now, in the past, nobody really thought about it. Bonded warehouses, the goods coming to Hong Kong, now this is a lot more in terms of higher in efficiency. Or there are some companies which do not use Hong Kong warehouses, but rather, where there is absolute necessary, I will retain it. But part of it will be put into the mainland. I think this is the future development. This is how I see it. And also, not automation. Is it good to invest in automation? Well, this is not how I see it. Does it mean that it's an auto warehouse and this will be fine? No. Actually, a lot of the operators, they rent the warehouse property. So it is very difficult to justify the investment for automation. Yes, there will be some automation, but not overall comprehensive. So these are very important points as well. Now, he's answered 2 questions, so the chairman will take a rest. We have some online questions. First of all, please answer this question. Gloria, Ms. Lang. The question is, greetings. For new graduates or newcomers to Hong Kong, when JD recruits, what are you looking for as the most important potential? Is it a way of thinking of the candidate, or is it a very good academic report card? For the last year of university, if they want to work at JD, what do you think is the most important skill they pick up? Well, in the latest rounds of recruitment, I've been asked the same question. In the last year of university, you need to be prepared. That means that you have to decide on which industry you want to join. And you probably, the questioner is joining this industry, logistics industry. So what professional knowledge that you have, and you should have certificates, qualifications as well. And you also need to know about the company you will want to serve, whether JD or other major corporations. Each will have their different DNA. So for these major corporations, you have to look at their communication, their media, and also you need to talk to your friends and your seniors, your teachers, so that you will know what it's like in the working field. And when you have all this understanding through your professional knowledge and your qualifications, you can do projects. So these projects will be in your CV. They will be your cases. And through the CV, your CV will come into Human Resources Department. And then you may be given an offer. For the offer, it will have to be tied to your position. So that is very specific. It's not just about the industry or the corporation, but about the specific position. So this can be very different because there are different positions, different cases. So I will not go into the details. But for anxiety that you feel, well, if you prepare, you will not be anxious because you know what every step should be that you should take. So whether it's a 60% or 80% preparation, you know that you're on track, then you will not be anxious because you will know what you're going to be like at 90% preparedness and 100% preparedness. So just work on it. Don't be pressured or anxious. Yes, my students also ask me the same question. So this is an excellent reply, especially those who are graduating this year. Good reply. All right, Mr. Zhang, if you can answer this question. Online question, it says, for Hong Kong logistics industry, after being in it for a few years, what are some of the other development opportunities? For Hong Kong logistics industry, I rather agree with the chairman. I think we need to spread our horizon wider. For the logistics industry, it is really about transshipment trade, but now there's a lot of changes. For example, e-commerce, cross-border e-commerce, in the past few years, it's really very, very hot. I mean, even for myself, I need to change and transform. I have accumulated some medium-sized customers, but I don't have a lot of major customers relationship. So, for example, China Euro, it is a very specific branch of industry. And in the past 2 years, I have been even more specified. That is cross-border e-commerce and also imports, China imports. So when we think about trade, 80% of the people think about exports. But have you thought about imports to China? Actually, it can be easier to work in imports. And I tell you, it is indeed so, because the clientele are more stable. So in my 20 years of experience, the clients from 20 years ago are still working with me. And these are importers. So spread your horizon a bit wider. I urge you, students, graduates, so that you'll be able to put deeper roots into our industry. Now, Mr. Zhang had given us a very important opportunity with a different perspective. Here's another question, Chairman. Hong Kong logistics positioning, how is it different from the mainland's? For Hong Kong logistics industry, for the positions in this industry, I say they are more specialized. For example, air, sea, land, transport of freight. The integrated transport has not much developed yet. So for Hong Kong logistics, for freight forwarders, they are focused on ship or air freight, and when they recruit, they would want people experienced in these specifications. But for the mainland, it's more integrated. So the recruitment for them, whatever specialization you're in, they can use you. They will find you useful. For example, this company, they have a number of different needs, land, sea, air, and so you can fit in if you choose any one of them in the mainland. So you'll be able to find a job more easily. So if you know air, if you know sea transport, you will be able to enter these companies. But what I talked about is a common scenario, but there are some medium to large size enterprises. They are already doing some integrated transport as well in Hong Kong. Shipping companies, for example, huge shipping companies, now they're purchasing airplanes, Boeing, cargo flights, and Airbus cargo planes as well. So from a shipping company, they are buying into planes, cargo planes. Well, the reason is very obvious. They want to diversify. They want it to be multidisciplinary for their company and to have integrated transport. In the past, those focused on shipping will not talk to the air freight. But now, the companies with their air and shipping, they will be able to serve the major clients comprehensively. And so, gradually, the business will go to companies with multiple capabilities, air and shipping, etc. So in the future, I believe this is the trend. So it is about your coverage among the different transport modes. And also AI. This is also very core. AI in different industries is gradually increasing its importance. For logistics industry, what is most important is cost and efficiency. And AI can replace work that had taken a long many hours and a lot of costs. So we have to grasp the use of AI and also systemization and automation. These are important too, including RPA, that is robotics processing automation. So that will bring on a faster, more efficient system and quicker turnaround time. So I hope this friend online will understand that we have to grasp these facts well. Now, coming back to the room, any questions, please? Any other questions, please? Greetings, seniors. I'm still a student, but in the first half of next year, I'll be graduating, and I'll have to seek a job. And also, I need an extension to my visa. And I'm a Ningpo local, and in shipping, Ningbo is leading, but in Hong Kong, there had been some major incidents in the past few years. As for myself, I've asked a lot of people, including my teacher and some senior people in the industry, and I have gone to a few recruitment meetings and exercises. And I've tried to see what kind of job I'll be able to find in the future. But the more I understand, the more I'm lost and confused. In the beginning, I was passionate, and I thought to myself, I am a Zhejiang province local. So now that I'm in Hong Kong, if I work hard, I should be able to find a job. And at the time, what is your question, please? Well, my question is, the reason why I'm confused is that I was very confident that I will be going into air freight, air transport, but now I know there is also shipping. To make a living, I would like to know, should I be more practical and turn to shipping? But for Hong Kong, shipping development is not as good as air freight. And also language. Gloria mentioned language is important, but in such a short time, my language is very difficult to be as good as Hong Kong people or people from Guangdong province. So, Ms. Leung, can you tell me, so for me, in this practical situation with my shortfalls, but I want to stay in Hong Kong. So, and also with the Hong Kong Talent Engage, do you provide for people like us a specific service? Is there a group such as myself to help answer questions for this group and to resolve some of our confusion worries? All right, Gloria comes from JD. You want to answer the question? Just now, your questions were you want to be a multidisciplinary person. Language and culture are also important. Yes, language is a tool. When you use a tool, you don't put the pressure onto yourself to learn a lot of things, but rather you have to open your mouth and speak. JD, we are recruiting a lot of people who, in terms of language, they are not really up to par, but in their own professional experience, they are good. And in screening, I screen 4 people who dare to open their mouths and speak. So don't be worried about language. I am an example. I remember when I was senior high, I had the mobile phone, and at the time I didn't know how to type. And I told my roommate, oh, you all know how to type? I don't. And she said, just start using it. So whether it is AI or language, 10 years later, you turn around and look at it, oh, this is such a common thing. So 2 years staying in Hong Kong, you will know that your languages is fine. You will not be worried. You'll be using it freely. So first of all, please dismiss that thought or pressure. Your heart must be at ease. You must start speaking, using the language. That's about language. And also, just now you talked about how to choose between shipping and also air. You have to look at your own situation. Perhaps the chairman will give you more detailed analysis. You want to speak? Is that right? Chairman, how do you look at it? I totally understand the thinking of the student. Let me just be very frank and give you an answer. It is like this. Don't use your own thinking. I want this, I want that. To interview for a job, you have to reverse a position. Your boss, your employer, why does he want to recruit you? Where do you stand out? The same university, for instance, you have a lot of graduates from that same university applying to the same company, let's say JD. Why hire you? Think about that from the employer's point of view. So from the same university, I'm not saying from other universities, the same batch of graduates interviewing for the same job. Why you? What are your competitive edges so that the employer would feel that they should hire you and not your classmates? So think of it in reverse that way. So a lot of students think this way, I want this, but start from the boss's point of view, I urge. Why hire you? I give you an answer. Do not just use the knowledge that you've learned in university. In this day and age, it's not about certification from your university to interview for a job, but rather from other areas. Let's say AI, ESG, for instance, and green, eco-friendly environment. And I can tell you this will be the way forward in Hong Kong. In the university, outside of the university, whether you self-study or join certain courses, this will bring up your capability. Without these capabilities, among all these students, why you? Think about it that way. Why does a boss single out you to hire? So you need these extra capabilities. This is completely fine. If you have AI and ESG and green logistics, you can go anywhere in the world, mainland Hong Kong, anywhere in the world. This will be useful knowledge. So do not just flash your graduation certificate, your U certificate, because you do not stand out from your classmates. It's not about aviation or shipping or air, but rather you have to be a talent that meets the market's need. Thank you so much. Now, for the sharing session, it's come to closing. Time flies. If you have other questions after this exchange session, you can talk to the guests some more. So just to say that we will extend to 5 p.m. this exchange session, and I want to thank again the Chamber of Hong Kong Logistics Industry, the Good Luck Group, and also JD Logistics. And we have coffee at the back. Would you please exchange and talk and have some coffee? And please fill in the questionnaire with the QR code. And on the 18th to 19th of March, there will be a global carnival for talents. Please pay attention to news about that. Thank you for participating. Goodbye.